everybody's having a good Tuesday. I know it's been kind of a hectic couple days, and yeah, it's just I know it's been hard for everybody. I see a lot of my colleagues, you know, trying to navigate this all this going on, and I I see a lot of people having troubles with remote teams and having to work remotely and stuff. So I figured, hey, I've me and my team have invested a lot of time and money into this, and I've gotten a lot of great responses and feedback from it. So I figured, hey, let me go ahead and share what I know, share what I have with you guys. Sorry, I'm my own producer, so I have to make sure everything's working correctly. Okay, good. Everything sounds so okay so far. So let me just make sure that everything's coming in. Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. Guys, so because I am my own producer, I will be. If you have questions, please post them. I will answer them afterwards. The good thing about this as well is that I've got this recording, so I plan on making sure that we. I plan to make sure that once we get this going, to record it and put it up on our YouTube. We're also going to make a podcast episode out of this, so that way we can have that for you guys. And yeah, so um, awesome, awesome. So yeah, sorry, I normally don't get nervous for these things, but for some reason, I guess I'm nervous on this one. No, so our app stack. So we're gonna start there first, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of how we work internally, what we do internally, and how things operate, how we operate, just so you guys get an idea of where we're at and things like that. So, um, all right. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you guys, or not share my screen, but go ahead and there we go. Okay. So this is our app stack. Okay. So as you guys can see, let me make sure y'all can have the audios coming in correctly. Um, let me make sure. I want to make sure the audio is coming in when I did the transition. This all these transitions are new to me. I've been watching Will over at Gusto do these, and so I figured let me give it a try. But I'm working with Wirecast, and so you guys are actually right now part of the beta for me testing this. So um, yeah, let me just make sure. Uh, what the heck? So there we go. Awesome. Okay, cool. Sorry. All right. AppStat, guys. So here we are. What we have is going to be this is our internal app stack. All right, and I'm sorry. I'm going to share this with you guys as well. Y'all can have it. Um, I want y'all to be able to download it and everything. So if we go through it a little bit, we I kind of categorize these things, split it up into several different categories. Okay, so our first one's gonna be our customer meetings. All right, so being a virtual firm, we had to find a way to make sure to manage contacting our clients, talking with our clients, with potential clients and vendors and things like that. And so one of the things that I saw right off the bat when I started doing my research on this is going to be using some kind of calendar system. So keeping track of your calendar and what you need to do, uh, keeping track of your calendar and kind of taking back your time. We still accept phone calls, we still accept emails and things like that. But what happens a lot of times is a client will call and we're in the middle of working on something, and then all of a sudden it's like we have to stop, tend to them. It takes a bit to kind of reboot into their system, into what they need, and then you start going with that, solve that problem. Then you go on to something else, which it takes a lot of time to having to switch the mindset and everything. So what we told our clients was, what we thought the best thing to do that we felt was, if you have a problem, of course, if you have like an immediate problem, of course, call. Like that's 100%, what we recommend. But if it's not, then if it's something you need to talk to us about, or you have a question or something, go to our calendar link. And so we use Calendly. So we actually connected Calendly to my calendar. And so I live by my calendar. If it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist. So now a lot of people a lot of clients of mine now, they have a link to my calendar, and they have different calendars. So I have different calendar settings. Sorry, I'm getting distracted because I'm getting all these notifications, and since I'm doing this on my own. So, all right, Calendly. Calendly is a good program. There's other ones out there like Acuity, Book It Like a Boss, or something like that. There's a lot of different other once hub or something like that. So we like Calendly because when I first started, they give you one free meeting for free. So that's how we first started. 30 minutes meeting. If you want to talk, you use Calendly. As we started going more, we decided, hey, part of our monthly package for our clients is monthly phone calls. Some of them have our tax returns. We usually walk through their tax returns virtually. And so I wanted to split that up to give them the opportunity to schedule that certain call so that I know what call is coming through, and then they can go ahead and make that appointment. So Calendly. So what we did is actually, so I paid for the paid version. So we have our 30-minute chat, which is going to be for our prospects, and that one I asked to input a lot of not a lot of information, but information as far as who you are, what you do, things like that. That way I have an idea of your business going into the meeting. We've got and so then we've got a current client call, which they have a direct link to that, and that one opens up a lot more time as far as when I can meet with them for any questions they have. And I like that a lot, because if they have a certain question like, hey, how do I do this? Or, hey, I need to talk to you about this specific situation, I know that for those 30 minutes, for that hour, I'm going to give them my full undivided attention, and they're going to get essentially the best out of me and what I can help them with. Then we have our tax planning calls, which some of our clients, or most of our clients that we do the tax planning for, we sit down, have a call with them, go over it, and what they need to do and where they're looking at and things like that. Then we have our tax prep calls, tax preparations, anything like that. And then, so yeah, those are the different levels that we have. Oh, and then we have for my podcast, I have a podcast interview. So I usually send that out, and then I know for that hour I'm going to interview somebody for the podcast, and then vendors. So I give vendors 15 minutes. Sorry guys, if y'all are watching, it's just time is valuable. If it's a service that I think I'm going to use, and of course we can extend that, but usually I give them 15 minutes to give me their spiel, because I want to know what's out there. I want to know what else is out there, and I'm more than happy to listen to vendors, but at the same time, sometimes it doesn't really match, and I know pretty early on if it's going to be a good fit for my business or not. So then what we do is Calendly, we hook up Zoom. So we use Zoom for all of our external meetings. And I'm sure now you guys working from home and everything have heard a lot about Zoom and its capabilities and everything. Zoom has been amazing for us. Zoom has a pretty open API, so we can connect it to a lot of different things, and it works out perfectly. So we record every meeting. We let everybody know that we record every meeting, especially with our clients. And then we host them. We host them for them. And then what we do is we connect Otter.ai to those meetings, and we actually, Otter.ai transcribes that for us, and then we provide that transcription for the client. So a lot of times it works out perfectly, because we provide them the meeting so they can go through and listen to it, especially if we do walkthroughs or things like that. But sometimes it happens. Sometimes you're going through a lot, or you talk about a lot, and they want to search for a specific item, and so it becomes hard to do it. So that's why we started doing Otter.ai and providing that transcription to them, because then they can just search in the transcription. They see at what minute point the meeting that particular. So if they're looking for how to do this specific thing inside Xero, if it's that's something part of the meeting we did, we go ahead and do that. Now, something we also started doing as well is to kind of cut down on some of these meetings when people have some specific questions on how to use softwares or how to use the products that we have. We actually started using Loom. And so Loom is a screen sharing where you can, all you do is share your screen. So I know a lot of people have a problem with being on video, and that's okay. So you can actually completely take yourself off of the screen and show yourself through there if you want to, or just show your screen and talk, do the audio and do a walkthrough on how to do this. You need to make us invoice a certain way, or you need to record a transaction a certain way, or things like that. I also use Loom internally. So anytime I need to show my staff something, I just create a quick Loom video and then send it to them. That way they know, hey, and they keep it moving forward. They have it for them to use, and so it's a good training. It's a good way to train. So if you're walking through, and especially if you're reviewing something, and you have to make a change, but you want to make sure that your staff shows, instead of setting up a meeting and getting time and spending 15-20 minutes to go over it, do a quick 5-minute Loom video and do the correction, and then send it to them and say, hey, watch this. This is where you met, and then just walk through the correction. That's a good way to help train. And then you take those videos and you store them internally. If you store them internally, then you can actually create like a database, a training database moving forward. And so anytime somebody has a question about a particular item, like let's say where does something go in a tax return, or how to record a certain transaction inside the accounting software, they can go into that. If you've already done the video, they can go into there and go ahead and take a look at it. So Loom has been tremendous, and it has actually cut down meeting times on us a lot. So yeah, let's see. So that's going to be our customer meetings. That's how we communicate with our clients. That's partially how we communicate with our clients. Partially. The other way is going to be, actually, we're going to skip the internal collaboration. We're going to go straight to the project management, because we use Teamwork Projects for our project management system. And inside Teamwork Projects, there's Teamwork Chat, which operates a lot like Slack. And so we actually internally, we talk on Teamwork Chat. And I mean, we talk a lot. There's a lot of open communication. There's a lot of things like that. Inside Teamwork Projects is our cloud-based practice management system. So we track where all our projects are, where we add, to what do we need. It's also a secure upload portal system for our clients to use, so they can upload any information we need securely into there. And as well, we also have, there's a message thread. So inside the message thread, we communicate with our clients. So we tell them, hey, email works great. Text and message is fine. Telephone calls is fine. But that only comes to me. And sometimes I get busy. Sometimes I get bogged down. Sometimes, it happens. Things get lost. And it's happened a couple of times already with some of my clients, where they'll send me an email and I thought I had responded, but I didn't. And so it's just like, so what I tell them is like, hey guys, post in the message thread, because that way my whole team can see it. So let's say I miss it, or I'm teaching a certification class for Xero, or I'm in a seminar, or I'm watching some CPE for new tax laws that are out, and I can't necessarily get away to respond or pull out my phone. My team can respond, and they all get notified, and so they can actually respond with an answer, or hey, we see this, we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So it's a good collaboration tool that works really well with our clients. The great thing I love about Teamwork Projects is it has an application. So we have client onboarding calls every time we bring on a new client, and part of the onboarding call is to show them how Teamwork Project works and get them to actually download the software, the app, and then use it on their phone. So they get notifications on their phone. They get notifications on their phone. They get and they can message us on the phone and take pictures and upload stuff all on the phone. So it works out really well. And And to me, it has been just a complete game changer. And I've got to shout out my good friend Will Lopez for the recommendation on that, and it has been just awesome collaboration. For those of you that don't know, I have a team. My team spread out all over Florida, New York, the Philippines, and then here in Houston. And so, uh, yeah, so it's been tremendous because we can all work together collaboratively. HubSpot's our CRM. That's where we track, manage all of our leads and things like that. I'm not gonna get too much into that because the CRM is it's its own beast. We're still not using it to its full effect, but we're working on there. So internal collaboration. Okay, so we're gonna jump back to the second thing. Microsoft Office 365. We live, breathe Microsoft. I know a lot of people hate Microsoft and use Google, and Google is great. Google is a great platform. I think it's tremendous. They offer a lot of things, but there's a few things that Microsoft Office has that Google doesn't necessarily have. So we use your tradition. So we use Microsoft Office 365. We use the business edition, which is I think $12.50 a month per user. So and that one includes a lot of different applications inside of it. So we use your normal Office products, Excel, PowerPoint, Word, things like that. We also use Microsoft Teams. So Microsoft Teams is an internal chat. We actually don't chat inside Microsoft Teams just because we have Teamwork Chat. We like that one a lot better. What we use Microsoft Teams for is actually meetings, internal meetings. So anytime we have an internal meeting or anytime I need to speak with Morgan or Camille or Samantha and we have a conversation, it's going to be inside Microsoft Teams. So we don't use Zoom. We do not use Zoom for internal meetings. We use Microsoft Teams. And the reason we use Microsoft Teams is because you can record the meeting in Microsoft Teams and it'll send it automatically to Microsoft Stream. So Microsoft Stream is something that's included in the business package, and it is a kind of like an internal video database. So just imagine it like an internal YouTube for your organization. So what we've been doing with that is actually using Microsoft Stream to all those videos I told you, those walkthroughs, those trainings, internal meetings, everything like that. We've been recording them and we upload them to Microsoft Stream. And so that way everybody in the organization has access to the videos they need. Now, of course, we have our high level conversations that me and Morgan have, and we have those, private because that's essentially, high level stuff. But anything else as far as trainings and meetings and get-togethers and how-tos and things like that, everything is stored in Microsoft Stream. So our team has the ability to go in and see a walkthrough, how to do sales tax in Texas, how to calculate it, how to file a Texas franchise tax report with a no tax due, how to input distributions inside Drake, things like that. Items like that. Instead of sitting down and having somebody like that, we use, like I said, Loom, and we upload it to Microsoft Stream, and it's 100% included as part of the business edition license. So our internal work papers is actually going to be Microsoft SharePoint. So Morgan built out Microsoft SharePoint for us, and we actually use our internal work papers. All our internal work papers are inside of there. I love it because what I can do is actually go in, sync it up to my local, and I have access to all my work papers on my local through the documents, through the little documents browser tab, and I can actually check stuff out, manipulate PDFs, put them up, the tick marks and all that for our tax work papers and things like that. And so I can manipulate how I want, and it's just a matter of, I open it, close it, and it saves it directly back into SharePoint. It has been a tremendous experience. Same thing as well, if I print a PDF, once I have it synced up to my local, I can actually print it straight into that folder, and it'll automatically be up on SharePoint, and I don't have to keep anything on my desktop at all, which has been tremendous. And then, of course, Outlook. I mean, email. Email's still king. Email's king. So we're using email for sure. Now, something I started doing is, and this is just me personally, is a lot of times, sometimes people will send me an email with a question or something, and it's just, it takes a long time to type the answer. So I'd rather just tell them. So what I do is I actually got Bomb, and I got this actually from the real estate folks. So you guys in real estate, thank you for this, because this is tremendous. So it's video responses for emails. So instead of typing out this really long, intricate email where tone can be misconstrued or miscommunication can happen, I tend to like to respond with videos if I can, because I feel like that gets my message a lot better, a lot quicker, and a lot clearer. So that's something we started doing as well, and we use Bomb, or I use Bomb for that. The rest of my team really doesn't. I'm the only one that really communicates with anybody outside of teamwork. My team usually communicates everything in there. So, and like I said, we want that because we want to have that audit trail. We want to see what's been discussed, what work papers are missing, what's been uploaded, what hasn't been uploaded, and things like that. There's a really good audit trail inside Teamwork Projects to see what's happening in there. All right. So our accounting, Xero. I mean, as you guys can see back here, the Xero wall. And those of you that know me, I am a big Xero fan. That's what I use. I use Xero internally for my firm. So that's where I run everything. All my invoices go out of Xero, everything like that. So for us, we actually use Practice Ignition to send proposals, engagement letters out to our clients. So when we send a proposal, we attach an engagement letter to it. And Practice Ignition is a tremendous software because we already have our services all set up inside of there, and so it's just a matter of going in and picking it. So if I have to adjust the price a little bit, I can, but all our terms, everything's already in there, so I can just create the proposal, send it out, they sign it, and I can actually designate that I want Practice Ignition to charge them. So most of my monthly clients, once they get there, they input their billing information, and PI charges it for them automatically for me, and then puts it into my account. They automatically create the invoices inside Xero, and then when it comes in, it gets shown as a payment, and it, easy to reconcile all that inside Xero. Works tremendously. Easy way to get my engagement letters out instead of having to send them out and have them signed. Everything is digitally signed, and yeah, it's tremendous. Having new clients and the proposal out, and yeah, it's been a game changer. Definitely. Those automatic monthly payments, I don't have to worry about going and trying to, hunt people down for credit card information. I don't store any credit card information. Morgan, that was the first thing when she first came on, was like, don't do that. So, which I'm okay with. So for those that aren't on Practice Ignition, so one-off projects, things like that I sometimes do, or I'll do a tax return, and somebody I know, I trust, and I'm just like, I should be sending them an engagement letter, but I don't. I usually just send them an invoice. I just invoice them out of Xero, and so I use Stripe for my payment processor. Stripe is probably a little bit more expensive. I heard sometimes there are other ones that are cheaper, but we use Stripe just because there's a direct integration with Xero, and it makes the reconciliation easy. And most of my bills are auto pay, but if I do have to send a check or something, I don't have paper checks. So we actually use Routable, which is a big sponsor. If you can see down here, a sponsor of our live feed. Thank you, Routable. We actually use them to send out bills. So they pay anytime we have to send a check. I just input it into Routable. Electronic checks get sent out. I don't have to cut a check. I don't have to anything. They take the money in my account. It works out perfectly. And timesheets and payroll. So we're using T-Sheets. That's what we started using. I like the functionality. I like the fact that it's an app that my team can literally just log into their phone, hit start, and then can clock in. We've got a lot of part-time. Most of my team is part-time. The only one that's really full-time is Camille. Everybody else is pretty part-time, and so helping me with different facets of the business. And I need to keep track of their time, mainly for what to pay them. And so we use T-Sheets. It's free. It's free. It's included into the subscription, and as an advisor, as a accountant, tax preparer, bookkeeper, whatever. It's free. So that's why we started. That's why we used it. We just never changed it. And then Gusto for our payroll. I mean, I love Gusto. Gusto's amazing. It's tremendous. It really has been amazing as far as the services they offer. They just keep offering more and more. They now have 2-day contractor payments. So if I need to pay a contractor, I can just pay them, run payroll for my employees, and then the contractors pay them, my marketing people and things like that, and just run the contractor payment and does it. And they prepare the 1099s and everything. So Gusto is tremendous, has been awesome, and it integrates very seamlessly with, it integrates with Xero. I'm not going to say very seamlessly, but it does integrate pretty seamlessly with it. So, so as you see right here, we've got down here authentication methods. So we use LastPass for password management. So anytime Morgan needs to log into something using my credentials instead of handing her the password, I just share my password through LastPass with her, and she can log in without having actually access to it. So we really like LastPass. Another one is Dashlane. I don't use it, but looks like it was put on here, so I guess so. Two-factor authentication. So we provide two-factor authentication. Anytime anybody offers it, part of our policy is you have to get two-factor authentication. Why? Because it's just more secure. So if you see Office 365, Teamwork Project, Xero, Stripe, Gusto, T-Sheets, everybody that offers two-factor authentication, we require it. It's part of our policy that you have to get it. So that's just something we like to do. And then being virtual teams and things like that, we need to make sure to protect our information and protect our information that's on people's personal devices. So part of remote team is you bring your own device and you can work. We offer our team members to work pretty much at their schedule and things like that, and they bring their own devices. But we need a way to manage what's on there because they can have access to a bunch of things and things like that. So, which is why we use Microsoft Intune. So Microsoft Intune is something completely different outside of the 365 subscription. So we actually pay for that, and it's just like an enterprise level security. And we do mobile device management for that. So what does that mean? We issue a security certificate, and so let's say you want to come on and you want to work with us, right? And you're bringing your own device, you're bringing your own phone, you're bringing your own laptop, everything. Okay, Mac, PC, whatever. Like we operate with either one. So you bring your own device. You have to register that device with our company. Now, what we mean by register is you put a security certificate on there. We don't see anything. We don't have access to anything. We don't nothing. It's just a matter of we put that security certificate on your device. The reason for that, it requires you to update your security settings on the computer. So if let's say it's not password protected or things like that, we require some of that. There's no antivirus software. You need to have the antivirus software. Things like all those different features, but then we also make sure to, when you're in there, to also if you want to download the applications that have access to client information, you need to make sure to meet all those systems. And on your phone, you need to have a really long, complicated password to log in. It's not going to be just 0000. It has to be an actual thing, and then we require it every, I think, 60 days to reset. And so it's a pain in the butt, but I mean it's security. But the most powerful thing about that, let's say like one of my staff, their laptop gets stolen, then what we can do is with Intune go in and wipe all of our information off of there. So, and we can actually restrict what can be downloaded from SharePoint and what can't. So if they can open up like an Excel spreadsheet through SharePoint and start working on it, but they can't save it to their local. They have to resave it to SharePoint. And so, and we do that because our company policy is you'd save nothing. There should be nothing client related on your desktop or on your laptop or on your computer. And so if something were to get stolen, we can actually wipe our information off of there. So we can wipe everything that's related to ZTX off of there, so that way they can't get access to any of our information. That's why we use it. It's a pretty basic bring your own device policy, but we've kind of made sure to like I said, we don't have access to anything. I can't see what's any. I can't. I have no access to anything. All I have is just my resources on the computer, or our resources on the computer. Um, so automation tools. I mean, Zapier. We use Zapier tremendously. Zapier is what connects a lot of these things together. So that's going to be something else we can talk about another date. That's a whole another thing. I don't want to talk about that right now because it's going to take too long. But Zapier kind of connects everything. And those that don't have direct integrations, Zapier talks to them. So we've got like a 18 step or a 15 step onboarding Zap. We've got several Zaps set up for some of these things to kind of make some of these items talk to each other. So yeah, guys, this is our internal app stack. Now, this is not what we use for clients. Some of these are client facing, but for the most part, this is what we use internally to work together and collaborate together internally. So which helps us run a virtual firm. Now, what we don't have on here is the tax software. So we use Drake for our tax software, and we we actually had them hosted. So with this whole problem of the hosting going down, that was a big deal. So we're gonna have to change that. I'll be real with you. We're gonna have to change that here pretty soon. So because it's just not conducive. You can't. It's not gonna work. So, but Zapier is a great tool. Zapier is a great tool. It connects everything. So sorry, I'm again a bunch of notifications going off. Drake. We use Drake hosted, and that's what we use for our tax software. And then we just usually print a PDF, and I can print it directly into the local saved SharePoint site, and then it'll sync it up there. So, like I said, this is going to be internal. We'll have another webinar kind of talking about our external tools and how we use external things and things like that. That could be something we can do later on. But for right now, this is just going to be our internal, how we work together. Now, this is a lot. This has taken a long time for us to set this up. You starting off, you don't need this. You don't need all this. You do not need all of this. This has been 2.5 years. This has been my passion, my obsession almost, to get as efficient and as automated as possible. But I mean, for you guys, Loom is free. Calendly's free. Zoom, if you do less than 40-minute meetings, they're free. T-Sheets is free if you're signed up for the partner program. If you're going to offer payroll to your clients, Gusto provides us as firm owners our own payroll to run. So that's going to be free. Xero, if you sign up for the partner program, gives you a free set of books for your company to use. HubSpot, I didn't annotate it, but that's free. With the lowest level, which is what we're using it for, that's free as well. So, like I said, Calendly, one meeting invite, that can be free. So for you guys that are looking to how do I get set up, how do I get started, I mean, you can get one calendar invite through Calendly. You can get set up a Zoom account and just make sure your meetings are under 40 minutes because they will cut you off. Or set up Zoom for trainings. So then that way all you have to pay for is just Microsoft Office 365. Project management, I mean, use Excel for now. I think inside Microsoft 365, there's a to-do list, or there's there's also some kind of like really, really light practice manager included. Very, very light, but hey, you can use it. I think there's things like Asana and Trello that are free. If when you're first starting off, just to kind of keep track of what you got going on. Like I said, HubSpot's free. Xero can be free. So a lot of these tools we started using because they were free. Now, as we start to grow, we like their effectiveness, so we bought the paid versions of them. But a lot of this stuff is free, and for you guys to use to get started with making that transition to the cloud, making that move over. Let me see. Yeah, like I said, most of the stuff you can do that, and and, there's other different options. And so what we're going to do is actually interview other people that are using other systems to see what they're doing internally and how they're working on the cloud. Because just because it works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you guys. And that's something I want to make sure. There is no one size fits all. Now, there's a good template to follow, and this is what I hope can be a decent template for you guys to see. But there is no one size fits all. This is just something that we use, and this is all going to, like I said, internal that we use for us. So, now how they all connect, yeah, like I said, that's going to be a whole different story. But we can get to that at a later time, and that's going to be other videos we're going to do. But yeah, that's essentially what we're looking at here. So, like I said, these are internal systems, and I'll share this with you guys so y'all can see. That way y'all can take a look at it. But yeah, like I said, going back, Calendly, you can get one meeting for free. Zoom, under 40-minute meetings for free. Loom, free. Xero, free if you're a partner. T-Sheets, free if you're a partner. Gusto, free if you're a partner. So HubSpot, free. So that's a lot of tools to get you started, all for free. Especially right now with the way the conditions are, and business going the way it is and everything. So but yeah, that's just that's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, and wanted to just make sure to share with you guys a little bit as well, kind of how that works. So moving on to the next subject is going to be working with teams, remote teams. The most important thing I'm going to say about working with a remote team is going to be trust. That without trust, it's not going to work. The remote teams are not going to work. So you need to trust your employees. If you don't trust your employees, then why did you hire them? That's just my take on it. So in order for you to effectively have a remote team, you need to have trust with your employees, and you need to trust them to make sure that they're adults, and they're gonna make the right decisions. They're gonna work when they need to, things like that. We provide a very open, flexible schedule, so they can work whenever they need to, which accommodates, like, Morgan's a stay-at-home mom. So she, our admin is in college, so that's going to be things like that we offer that helps with kind of the remote teams. But it's going to be about trust, guys. You have to trust your teams. So the most important thing that you want to do is it's communication. So trust is the most important thing. You need to have trust with your employees. 2 is going to be open communication. So what we do is usually with my team every morning, especially the younger ones, I like to have a stand-up huddle. Quick 5-10 minutes. Hey, what you got working on today? Now we no longer do a video chat. It's just on the chat. We no longer do video meeting. We just do the chat. Hey, what you working on today? What you got going on? And just a check-in, just a quick check-in. Okay, you have enough work? Do you need work? Okay, we've gotten to the point now where we can track most of that in our project management system, but sometimes they run out of work, and so it's like, hey, and they've been really good about, hey, I need something, or hey, I need something to do, and so it's been awesome, But communication. So weekly meetings, we have one weekly, usually about an hour. What are our plans for the week? What do we got going on? What are we doing for bookkeeping? What are we doing for taxes? What's up with payroll? What's up with sales? What's up with marketing? What's up with any IT internal things, and then other situations. So we have those once a week. Full team meeting. We all sit down and go through, okay, what's the plans for the week? What do I need done? And then what problems are going on that they see, or anything like that, what meetings, and just things like that. We plan out the week that way. What it is that, if something comes up that I feel like it's more pressing, I mention it, and they hop on it and everything. So we have that team meeting to make sure we go through what's going on. And then, like I said, I check in usually in the morning. Hey, how you doing today? Hey, what you got going on today? Okay, cool. Perfect. When we first got with Camille, we would I would have those daily huddles. 10, 15 minutes, hey, how's it going? Good? Okay, perfect. What are you working on? Okay, perfect. And that's it, just kind of keep an eye on them. And then open communication, through the chat functionality, not text. I loathe texting. We do everything into the chat function because, again, there is an audit trail to follow. We communicate in the chat. We have a group communication, kind of like a group thread where we can all talk. We've got individual threads, and then we've got different threads for different things. And so, again, we use teamwork chat just like projects. Teamwork chat just like Slack. But you can use something like Slack. You can use Teams. If you're already paying for Microsoft, use Teams. You know, it's already It's already there. You guys can start chatting into there, having team meetings and things like that. That's going to be something really powerful that you guys can use to communicate. So the question is, are you providing the device or are they bringing the device? So if they're providing their own device, giving them access to the systems, and that's going to be a little bit tricky. That's going to be more of a security question, and I think I'm gonna have to ask Morgan to come on because that's her area of specialties as far as accessing VPNs and things like that. This is why we made a move to try to be as virtual and cloud based as possible, because I didn't want to have to remote into a server. I didn't want to have to deal with that, and having to keep up the protection on that and everything. Everything's built in the cloud for us. That was just a personal move for me, but giving them access, if they're going to provide their own devices, then I would suggest looking at something like Microsoft Intune or Google. Google has something as well where it kind of protect your information. Requiring them to kind of set it up and everything. I know it's not easy, but it's something I would recommend just to protect you as a business owner, your information and things like that. Same thing as well. Provide them the tools for that. This is there are things like if you're using QuickBooks Desktop on a desktop or something, look at options to host it. There's ways to share. There's Right Networks. There's different hosting sites that can host a QuickBooks Desktop file if you need to be using desktop. Now, if you don't, this could be the perfect opportunity to take a look at all your clients you have, which ones are using desktop, which ones are not, and which ones can you actually move and migrate to the cloud. See what you can do. If you're using QuickBooks Desktop, Xero has a really good migration tool that'll move that information into Xero for you. So again, I love it. So I'm gonna push it because I really do enjoy it. But no, it's just something that I think is gonna be. It's important to start having those thoughts and what I can do to what can I move that's desktop to the cloud. Now, tax software is gonna be hard. Tax software is gonna be hard. That has always been, unless you're using something like CCH Access or Pro Connect, it's gonna be hard. We Drake hosts ours. We're gonna move it to somebody else to host it, but I have to pay for an individual site for each one of my people to log into. If you're putting it on a server, then having to set up a VPN and remoting in to use it that way, it is another option. Or if you're kind of a solo person, then, and let's say you have it on your desktop, but you're trying to work from home, put it on one of these hosting sites as well. It's a little bit more money, but it gives you the flexibility of opening it whenever you want, going back and forth, and they have backups, and that way, in case something happens, you'll have that backup that they'll provide for you. Yeah, and then just like I said, trusting them, and a good project management system. So I think that's going to be really important as well, because they need to know what to work on, what's to do, what's everything. Like I said, we use teamwork projects. Xero Practice Manager is going to be a good one if you're an accountant. Workflow Max is good. Asana, Monday.com, like all these are really good. It's just a matter of which one you want and which one you like working with. I think they're going to be really good to kind of make sure that there's another one, XPC, XP. I forget the name of it, but there's another one out there that a lot of these bigger accounting firms use, and I think it's cloud based. And so, oh, one of my lights went out. That's not good. So yeah, that's going to be what you're going to want to use. Something like that to help keep track of it, or like I said, an Excel spreadsheet, and just make it shareable, and then everybody can go in and change statuses on there. And I've seen some people get really creative with Excel if that's what you're using, and then post it to a OneDrive or something where and a shareable link where everybody can manipulate it or look at it and go from there. So there's different solutions to some of these, but as far as the remote teams go, what I've learned is that one, like I said, the trust, and two, giving them the tools to be able to succeed. So, which is why we have teamwork projects, which is why we're on the cloud, which is why, sorry, coffee's life, which is why I try to make sure that we do all this internally, because I want to make sure that they succeed. I want to make sure they have the tools that they need to advance and be able to work as effectively as they need to. So like Samantha is helping me with the tax stuff, so she has her own site, and she does, she's got access to SharePoint and everything. She does everything and all the tax work in there and everything. She's got access to Teamwork, so she knows what projects are hers, what are not, and things like that. And so yeah, it's just that, like I said, guys, it's all about trust. It's all about giving them the ability. They need access to the resources, so giving them the access to the resources and trusting that they're adults and that they can work and do that. So there have been times, and it's not going to be perfect. There have been times where I've had to get onto my team like, hey, what's going on? Like, nothing's been done, and which required me to kind of be a little bit more hands-on with them. But at the end of the day, it comes down to trust. Like, I trusted them. There was something going on. I was good with it. They stepped their game up, and everything was fine at that point. After that, it's having that trust and the open communication, letting them know that they can come to you if there is a problem or something. So that's my takeaways from running remote teams, guys. Now, is it perfect? Not by any means. We are working. We're trying to lock this down as much as possible. But we're doing it, and we're doing okay. And Camille right now, they locked down Clark, so she's having to work from home. And so we're trying to figure out how that's setting up. And I just got a big shout out to Nick Sinclair and TOA and the whole team over there, because they've done a really good job of making sure that their team members are taken care of. But yeah, I mean, Camille is good to go, and she's up and running again and working. And so it's been good. So yeah, I mean, if you have any questions, guys, please let me know. Like I said, that's kind of how we've been running our remote teams, giving them access to these things, and yeah, we'll go from there. So I just want to say, everybody, thank you, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day. And catch us Friday. We're gonna have a chat with Jay Kimmelman about his setup and what he does, and then Sunday we're gonna have a chat with my friend Anna Klein with AKK Tax. She's CPA, virtually working virtually. She's gonna sit down, and we're gonna have a chat with her about her system and setup, and then we're gonna have a chat with Bianca Bonilla of TaxSmart as well, and that one's gonna be in Spanish and English. So we're gonna work on some content for that for you guys. We've also got some real estate people coming in to talk to us about the housing market and what's going on. Some mortgage people to talk to us about what that means with the Fed rate and cutting and things like that. We've got insurance to talk about insurance and kind of what options are out there for everybody. So this is me trying to make sure to give you guys as much information from these different oh my gosh, industries. I don't know, I'm already blank. And so, but yeah, all right. So I'll put it into this super long hour, and again, this is gonna go up on YouTube if y'all want to see this, and I'll have a link to that form for you guys to be able to download as well. Okay, thanks, y'all. Have a good day.